Welcome to Anointed Voices, a channel devoted to spiritual depth and divine revelation. Today's message is titled, The Hidden Power of Faith, Unlocking God's Secrets. Let your soul rest, your heart open, and your faith be stirred. They say faith can move mountains. But what does that really mean in a world where mountains of doubt, fear, anxiety, and hopelessness rise higher every day? Today, we walk through deserts of despair and climb cliffs of confusion, longing for something more. We strive, we struggle, we survive, but rarely do we thrive. And yet, the power to thrive truly, deeply, abundantly live has always been within us. Hidden, dormant, waiting. That power is called faith, not wishful thinking, not blind optimism, not empty rituals, but true faith, the kind that anchors the soul and sets the spirit ablaze. The kind that unlocks the mind of God and reveals what eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Faith is not magic. It's not a trick or a shortcut. Faith is a weapon, a key, a force. And when wielded with understanding, it becomes the most unstoppable power on earth. Look at the life of Jesus, not just as a religious figure, but as a revolutionary, a disruptor, a challenger of systems, of logic, of fear. He didn't walk by sight. He walked by faith. He didn't follow the crowd. He followed the voice of his Father. And because of that, he fed the hungry, healed the broken, calmed the storms, raised the dead, and shattered the very definition of what was possible. But here's the truth. No one told you in Sunday school. Jesus said, you will do even greater things than these. Not maybe, not if you're holy enough, not someday. He said it because he meant it. He knew that the same power that raised him from the grave would one day live in you. And that power is activated by faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That means real faith starts where your senses stop. Real faith doesn't need proof. It produces proof. Real faith isn't a feeling, it's a decision, a discipline, a declaration against the noise of this world that says, I will believe even when I don't see. I will move even when I don't understand. I will trust even when I don't know the outcome. The world trains you to walk by sight, but faith calls you to walk by vision. Sight sees what is. Faith sees what can be. Sight reacts. Faith initiates. Sight limits. Faith liberates. When you choose faith, you're not ignoring reality. You're elevating above it. Most people live trapped in a cage built by their own thoughts. They believe lies like, I'm not enough, I'm too broken, it's too late, or nothing ever changes. But faith breaks chains. It rewrites the narrative. Faith says, if God is for me, who can be against me? Faith says, all things are possible. Faith says, I was made for more. Because you were. You were not created to be a slave to circumstance. You were not designed to be average. You were not placed on this earth to merely exist. You were created in the image of a limitless God, wired with purpose and infused with divine potential. Faith isn't just how you get through hard times, it's how you transform them. Faith takes the worst moments and turns them into fuel. Faith looks at the fire and walks through it. Faith hears the roar of the lion and stands firm. Faith sees the giants and runs toward them. God never promised an easy life, but he promised a powerful one. And that power doesn't come from religion, rules, or rituals. It comes from relationship. Real, raw, intimate connection with the Creator. A daily walk. A constant conversation. A living trust. When you cultivate that kind of faith, things change. Not just around you, but inside you. Fear starts to shrink. Doubt starts to dissolve. Shame loses its grip. Guilt falls off. Hope rises. And you begin to live like you were always meant to live. Bold, unshakable, free. You stop playing small. You stop apologizing for your calling. You stop waiting for permission to be who God already said you are. You stop trying to control outcomes and start trusting the one who already wrote the ending. Faith doesn't promise comfort, but it guarantees growth. And every test you face becomes a testimony. Every setback, a setup. Every delay, divine. Every no, a redirection. Because when you walk by faith, you stop asking why me and start asking, what now, God? You learn to praise in the prison. You learn to dance in the drought. You learn to sing in the storm. Because faith isn't about avoiding the valley. It's about knowing who walks with you through it. This is the hidden power of faith. It shifts your focus. It elevates your mindset. It awakens your spirit. It activates heaven. And that's what the enemy fears most. Not your talent, not your resume, not your appearance, but your faith. Because faith makes you dangerous. Faith makes you relentless. Faith makes you a weapon in the hands of God. So don't settle for weak, watered down belief. Don't live on secondhand revelation. Dig deeper. Press in. Listen for his voice. Because when God speaks, galaxies are born. And when you believe, mountains move. Your future isn't determined by your failures. It's unlocked by your faith. God is not withholding secrets from you. He's waiting for faith to unlock them. And if you want to walk in the fullness of your calling, you have to stop bowing to the fear of the unknown. The greatest risk is not stepping out. It's staying stuck. You were made to soar, made to lead, made to break generational cycles and speak life into dead places. But the key is faith. The hidden power that turns ordinary people into world changers. The sacred fire that burns through impossibility. The divine permission to dream again, to believe again, to become more than the world said you could be. Faith is not a moment. It's a lifestyle, a posture, a decision to see with heaven's eyes. So stand tall, speak life, walk boldly, because with faith, you're never alone. You're never outnumbered. You're never without power. You are filled, equipped, and called. This is your season. This is your time. This is your moment to rise. Unlock it with faith. Thank you for listening to Anointed Voices. If this message has touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more meditative sermons and faith reflections. May your journey of faith be filled with hidden treasures from above.